What is going on, guys? It is your boy Grave, and today we'll be talking about episode 7 of Kamen Rider Revice. Now, the episode starts off with a group of thieves running from the police. They're doing this hardcore parkour stuff, really acrobatic shit. One of them falls behind and is about to get captured when a dead man shows up to protect him. When the thief runs away, the dead man runs off and it is recorded for Iki and Vice to watch in the Phoenix base. George confidently rides in with a skateboard, saying that it's a cheetah dead man, with Yujiro ordering Iki to defeat the dead mans that are helping the thieves. Vice then uses Iki's phone to talk to George, but George is obviously annoyed by him, saying he doesn't really like him, he kind of hates him. Iki asks for a stamp to counter the cheetah's speed, and George gives him the jackal stamp. Vice makes this comment on how his form looks really lame and uncool, and this pisses off George, making him take back the stamp. Iki then asks who the Black Rider is, Kamen Rider Evil, with Yujiro replying that they're still investigating. He should focus on getting the dead man. And as he's walking away, George says that there's going to be some fun things happening when he finds out who Kamen Rider Evil is. When he finds out it's Daiji. Iki tells Vice that he was kind of rude to George when he said the form was lame and uncool. He wouldn't want to use it as they're walking down the lobby. But Vice says, "Hey, I'm just being honest." As they get to the lobby, they notice Daiji. Daiji telling them, "Hey, lay low on the heroics." And Iki says, "This is kind of your problem." With Daiji getting a flashback with him in the Dead Man's hideout, where Stephen Kagero says that he was born from Daiji. Aguilera says that she doesn't care as long as he helps sacrifices, and Oteka welcomes him into Dead Man's, but Kagero brushed it off, saying, "All I want is Iki's head." So he just wants Iki dead. With Kagero pointing his finger at Iki as he's walking away and pretends to shoot his finger gun. Laughs as Kataka watches. We then cut to a kid playing tech, and he's getting his ass beat, and he's obviously annoyed by it. When he loses, he calls his friends, pulling out a mask, asking if they want to go for another heist, showing that he is one of the thieves. In the bathhouse, Sakura informs Iki about the info she found on the thieves, with her and Boo telling him that they might be suspended students from a high school. Iki and Vice, impressed with Boo's findings, ask Boo, what is his day job again, with Boo once again saying, I can't tell you, which I feel like that's going to be something big later down the line in the season. Kataka walks in and asking where Daiji is. Iki thanking him for everything he's done, with Sakura telling him that he's not home and asks what happened. Kataka tells them what happened in the Phoenix bathroom, that he found Daiji sleeping on the floor, and when he woke up he didn't know where he was or why he was wearing and what he was wearing, and hurries out of the bathroom. It kind of shows there's this dual personality between Daiji and Kagero. Both Iki and Sakura agree that this is unusual for Daiji, with Kataka apologizing for barging in and goes to leave, but he is then alerted about the dead man's sighting, along with the thieves. You see the thieves running away from the police in a warehouse where they are cornered, but when they're cornered, the dead man shows up and gives them the chance to run, and this is when Iki and Vice show up, already transformed, and this causes one of the thieves to turn back to the dead man. Iki tells the dead man that you shouldn't sell your soul to the devil, and his family would be upset about this, but the dead man just pushes him away and starts fighting him. And while this is happening, the thief that turned away starts running again. Iki and Vice continue the fight with the dead man, but it's obviously way too fast for them. Iki uses Mammoth and throws the boomerangs, but the dead man easily dodges them. He then uses Eagle to use the remix form, and they both burst out of the warehouse. And when Iki and Vice go in to swoop in the dead man, he jumps in and rides the remix eagle into a wall, forcing them to crash and undo their eagle transformation. This allows the dead man to escape. Which obviously he's way too fast. He can't use eagle for that. Heading to Sakura's karate class, she tells her classmate that her mom is about to be released from the hospital and that her dad again wants to celebrate by going to an onsen. Julio joining in on their conversation, saying how much he loves onsens. Then you hear Oteka commenting that his infiltration into Iki's family is going around pretty nicely. Aguilera says that the dead man's isn't really doing much, it's pretty useless. Says she wants everyone to quickly be a part of Gifu's family, with Oteka saying that they still have Kagero as their trump card. Now, during the night, Daiji walks in the streets and wonders if he's actually the one who stole the stamps from episode 5. He then bumps into a couple people and then stumbles and falls into an alley. On the mirror, right next to him where he fell, Kagero materializes in the mirror and he kind of taunts Daiji. Daiji asks who he is, and he says that he's the demon born from Daiji's heart to fulfill his wish for a world without Iki. Daiji then breaks the mirror, and at that point, Kagero takes over Daiji's body. In an alley, the thieves lay low, discussing what they should do now, saying that the dead man kind of went too far. And one of them walks away, and the others follow, with the dead man showing up, appearing out of sight, behind a tree, just watching them leave. Back in the Phoenix space, Iki and Vice beg George for the Jackal stamp, but George is still being stubborn because Vice is saying that he'll tolerate being uncool and lame. Yujiro is obviously annoyed by this, and he says, "Hey, stop whining," and he throws the Jackal stamp to George. George then says that give him some time, he's going to modify the stamp, and then walks out with Vice saying, "Thank you, I love you." Well, this is some weird shit, At the high school, Iki investigates the thieves, and the principal explains to him that they were suspended recently for stealing wallets, and some of them were caught in a fight just to cover up for one of them, and that when Iki asks to go visit their homes, the principal tells him that one of them moved away to the US recently, meaning that one of the dead man's, isn't one of the kids, so there's 3 kids and 1 outsider. Iki walks to one of the boys' homes and finds his mom talking to the police about her missing husband, saying that he's kind of been missing for a week, he hasn't been in the hospital. While Gaspers around the house talk about how her husband wanted the son to be a doctor. Back in the Phoenix base, George hands Karuka the Jackal stamp and asks to deliver it to Iki. Karuka tells George that it's usually Daiji's job. Eijiro just tells him that Daiji might be the one that stole the stamps, and that his mental state is unstable. George also adds that it might be because he was too scared to transform into Revice, and that him seeing Karuka's demon come out of the driver might have been the trigger. Feeling guilty about this, Karuka says that it's his responsibility to stop Daiji, with George giving him that new driver that we see in episode 3 that Daiji wanted to use. Heading to the police station, the thieves go turn themselves in, with one of them saying that they better hurry before his father shows up. The police are confused, what do you mean? But then the dead man bursts out of the wall, grabs one of the kids, and drags him out of the station with Iki waiting for him, saying that the dead man's is the kid's father, and he's stopping his son from turning himself in. The father yells, saying no, he's no criminal, he's gonna be a doctor just like I am, with Iki telling him you can't force your way on him. And when the dead man says stay out of this, Iki says he can't and transforms, and they start to fight. The fight takes them to a skate park where Iki shoots with his axe gun while Vice follows him. He chases him. And as Iki is shooting, Evil shows up and attacks Iki from behind. And as he walks up to Iki, he's shot from behind by Karuka, who throws the jackal stamp to Iki. And as he's walking down the stairs, Katka pulls out this new driver. It's called the Demon's Driver. And he puts it on, uses the spider V stamp, and transforms into Kamen Rider Demons. Now, I do like this suit. Now, I could be wrong on this, but I do believe that this suit is in reference to the tokusatsu version of Spider-Man, Toei's Spider-Man. Either way, this suit looks pretty fucking cool. With how the eyes glow, how his bell is more like digital. As Katka fights evil, Iki uses the jackal stamp and transforms into his jackal form, which is actually a reference to Kamen Rider X-Aid. And if I'm completely honest, this suit is actually more accurate to what X-Aid really looks like compared to all the other forms. And funny enough, Vice turns into a skateboard. As Iki fights the dead man, he's using the skateboard like he's grinding on rails. Doing what he's basically playing Tony Hawk Pro Skater with this, just fighting the dead man's, like using the skateboard as a weapon and a way of transportation. It's really weird, but it's also pretty neat. I'm not gonna lie with that. And as Katka is fighting evil, he's asking if he's Daiji, with evil not giving any answers. Katka gets in a few good hits on evil, forcing evil to use a finisher as a means to escape. Iki then uses a finisher on the dead man's, which involves using the skateboard for his kick. And when the father's apprehended, the kid comes in, and they have a talk. It's like, the kid felt lost, he didn't know what to do. And Iki tells the father that he didn't leave the nest yet, you can still fix things with him, you can still make things up. And that's really the end of the episode. Like, this episode felt way too short than usual. That's mainly why it took so long to record the audio for this. Like, it may sound like I was going all over the place, but no, I've been going on these points as they happen. It felt like this episode in general was going all over the place. As much as I like how it got to the point more, I feel like this episode was more filler than anything. If they had some more important plot points, I think they would have been much better. I think this whole episode was really just a way to introduce Katka as a Kamen Rider, as Kamen Rider Demons. But anyway, that is going to do it for this episode. Hopefully next week it'll be more condensed with actual good plot points, but until then, if you like this video, please leave a like, subscribe, and please comment. Those things are always appreciated. And as always, I'll see you guys next week. Take care.